Why is it called JesusTools? Well, many people name their stuff after themselves, Walmart, that kind of thing, but I figured if I'm going to name something after somebody and bring attention to that person, I'll bring attention to Jesus. So I'm a Christian. It has nothing to do with this app or the way it works or anything other than I'd like him to get the credit for some of the cool stuff. This app is a collection of about 30 macros. There are 2 dashboards. This dashboard is the knowledge object manifest. It lists all the various macros here. This call to macro with 1arg, it allows you to easily overload the 2arg macro down to a 1arg macro by calling the 2arg macro with the input and output as the same field name. Normally, when you have 2 versions of a macro, you'll duplicate your code in every version of the macro. But in this case, you have the 2-argument version, and the 1-argument version calls this other macro, which calls the 2-argument version. It makes it so that you only have to maintain your code in one of the macros, and if you fix it here for the 2-argument case, you also fix it automatically for the 1-argument case because you're going through this macro. So the comments make use of no op. It does nothing, no operation. So all of these macros have a comment in them that describe what they do. On the other dashboard, not all of the macros are actually demonstrated. The examples dashboard, and see how some of these work. The main one that's in here is MV stats. How do I perform a stats function on my multi-value field? This macro allows you to do exactly that. I have a multi-value field called MVX and a multi-value field here called MVY. X has 10 values and Y has 5. You can see that I've calculated the average of MVX and the average of MVY, the count of MVX and Y. The first value, you can see 7 is correct. The last value of MVY, you can see 1692 is correct. The max value of X is 43, that's correct. The sum, this is using run anywhere data, and the MV stats is doing count on MVX, count on MVY, sum on MVX, first MVX. Any command you can pass to stats, you can pass to MV stats and pass in the multi-value field, and it will perform that function on it. Dotted quad to 32-bit conversion, forwards and backwards. So it takes this host, converts it to a 32-bit version, and then converts it back. The beginning and the end are the same. Renaming a field by the value in another field is a very arcane eval capability that most people don't know about. So this is showing people that this is here rather than me inventing something. But you can see that this field with value is called contrived. This is the before, and over here we're calling rename by value with count field, and we're going to rename it with the value of what's in the field with value. Here, the value of field with value is contrived, and you can see that the count field is now renamed contrived. If they didn't all have the same value, you'd actually get multiple columns. So it does fan out based on multiple values. In this case, we just showed a single value. If you've ever used the transpose command, when you transpose back, it leaves what was the header line now as the first row in your data. And that can be very frustrating. I did 2 transpose commands essentially in a row, and it did this. So the second transpose, what I'd like to see is the data that would have ended up as the top row as the field header. And that's exactly what transpose with top row to field names does. You can see I have the exact same command. Over here I call transpose, but over here I call transpose with top row to field names. And it actually does that. This row is now, actually the field name in the row doesn't exist. Rankify is another powerful one. What it does is it replaces a count field with a rank. This one actually handles the case where the fields just happen to be a tie. It would go 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, so there would be no 4th place because there would be 2 third places. In this case, the data doesn't have any ties in it, so you don't see that. Here you can see this is the Rankify 3, so it takes the count and converts a rank. So in the Rankify 3, you add a new field based on the existing field. In the Rankify 2, you replace, you overwrite, you recycle the field, so the count actually gets converted. So here's the rank as a separate, and here's the rank as a converted field. It counts the number of words in a field and returns it. We're counting the number of words in raw, and we're returning it as word count. Here you see examples of that. In this case, we're doing match count, so we're passing to match count a string. In this case, the string that we're passing is the letter A, and we're creating a field called letter A match count. So we're passing in raw. So in raw, we see that there are 6 A's in this example, 6 A's, 12 A's. So this is just counting. Any string you pass to it, it's going to count the number of examples of that string in the other field that you pass to it.